What's up, YouTube fam? Relationship tip of the day. I know you guys heard of the same thing you did in the beginning to get them is the same thing you have to do throughout the relationship to keep them. I really don't go by that rule per se. I usually like to take it a step further. Yeah, the same thing I did to get my mate in the beginning will be consistent throughout the relationship all the way to the very end if it happens to end. But I also think that it's important to reinvent yourself and get better and bring new things into the relationship because of the simple fact that I feel like I don't know what my man is being exposed to outside of the home. So I'm open to, new ideas, new actions, new ways of catering in my relationship, because sometimes the same old same just ain't good enough and it becomes redundant and it can get monotone and boring. So I like to constantly reinvent myself. If he comes to me with something new to try out or something out of the norm for us, I'll definitely take it into consideration and try to adhere to it because obviously this is something he's interested in. You don't know where he picked it up from, where he learned about it from, where he heard about it from. But I do want to, kind of provide him with being able to experience different things within the relationship. So, okay, remember the movie Tyler Perry, Temptation? If you haven't seen it, turn this video off now and come back and watch it later once you see it. But there's a part in the movie, the girl and the guy, the main girl and the guy in the movie, the main girl and her husband, born and raised, grew up together in the country, everything was perfect, fine. They moved to a big city, everything was still perfect and fine. They had a wonderful marriage that most people would be like, oh, I want that, I would love to have that, I envy that, or something to that matter. But there was this other guy, city guy, lots of money, that introduced her to a different way of doing things. Not saying that anything, like her relationship was fine, everything was just fine, her marriage was great, everything, she was content until this new guy showed her it can be better, it can get better, it can get more exciting. And instead of right off cheating on her husband when she was introduced to like, oh, you can have sex outside the bedroom, we can do it on this jet right now, she was like, what? No, that's ludicrous, we always have sex in the bed, like. And he was just like, we can have sex in the jet, and we can have sex here, we have sex there. And she was just like, people do that? She was exposed to something new and different and exciting and intriguing to her. So she went back to her husband and tried to do it, like in the kitchen. She ran in the kitchen and immediately tried to hump him in the kitchen. And he was just like, no, let's go to the bedroom. She was like, no, I want to do it here. He was like, no, let's go to the bedroom like we always do. She was like, no, I just want to do it here, like whatever. But not necessarily telling him I want to do it here because this other guy said that, he would do me in the jet and just different places and I want to just do it with my husband instead of him. She didn't say that. So he totally rejected her, her desire, her want to experiment, and which left her looking outside of the marriage, outside the relationship for that excitement, that new experience, that newness. He could have reinvented himself and been very wide open for that. Nothing wrong with doing it in different places. Even though you're not comfortable, it's not that bad to experiment with something like that. So that's why I feel like, and that movie just totally reiterated on what I do naturally. I was like, see, I know I'm not wrong for being the way I am. So yeah, do the same thing you've been doing to get them in the beginning throughout the relationship, but also reinvent yourself. Keep it spicy. Keep it interesting, keep it intriguing, keep experimenting, keep trying new things. Be open when they bring you new things, because you never know where they heard about it, where they picked it up from. A woman might have introduced your man to something and he wanted to come home and do it with you instead of doing it with her. You have to be open and can't reject that if it's something doable.